Hi everybody, my name is Josiah, also known as Chilling Silence. Welcome to today's DigiByte update, and I want to take this opportunity to talk a little bit more with you. Where are you off to? I want to take this opportunity to both show off Link and how gorgeous he is, and also to talk with you about some of the behind-the-scenes things here going on with DigiByte and some of the processes that we are looking as a broader community to implement to further encourage decentralization and to further improve representation in discussions that are taking place. Now, one of the things, I'm kind of going to go on a little bit of a tangent here. The first one is the DigiByte website itself, currently digibyte.io, and one of the things that someone actually jumped in Telegram recently and said, well, hey look, are you aware of the history when it comes to the .io domain? And I'm aware of it, but, you know, it's not the kind of thing that's, your tail can't go over the camera, buddy. I'm aware of it myself, but it's the kind of thing that doesn't come up all the time. But this person basically, we had a little bit of a chat, and I sort of said, well, look, you know, this is the website, and that's what it is, and it's out there. It's been digibyte.io now for almost forever. It's actually only been, I think, like 4 years, but whatever. Close enough, 5 years maybe. But the team got talking, and we started having a bit of a discussion around, well, maybe we shouldn't be supporting the .io top-level domain and what's been happening with it. So I'll include a couple of links to specifically what's been happening, but basically the Chagos Islands, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, were supposed to be receiving revenue from the .io domain, which is pretty common. So in New Zealand we have .co.nz. You've also got .com.au for in Australia. And that's basically just how it works. They're supposed to get like a cut or a share of every domain sale. This hasn't been happening though, and so this is an interesting opportunity for us because we can then look at other domains in the way that we want to actually uphold DigiByte and I suppose our values. So this is kind of cool. We don't have any domain sorted at the moment, but it's something that we're looking at and something that's come to more of, I suppose, the forefront as we are discussing other things. One of which is the way that we're going to be doing things on GitHub. So previously in the past, it's basically been a case of there has been a few people who have access to make commits directly. We want to specifically move away from this and move towards more of a peer review model before things are accepted. So even though people who have been around for quite some time, for example, DigiContributor is one of the longest contributors and most prolific contributors to the DigiByte core project, they too will also be required to make pull requests. Sorry, you're about to see a tail again, I think, flap in front of the... He's now off on a journey across the other monitor. Even these longer-term contributors are going to be required to uphold these same standards as the rest of us. So what we're looking at specifically is a bit of an upgrade from what Bitcoin have, and this is known as the Gitflow Workflow. Now, for most people, this isn't going to make any difference to them, but one of the things worth noting is the way that this is going to foster and encourage more discussion, and that's something I'm super excited about. So what we'll show is, if we come along here, how it works. Now, I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty, but long story short, what happens is, if you are wanting to improve DigiByte, you will fork it off, make your own branch for your improvements. These improvements will then come back and be made as a pull request against the main DigiByte organization. Now, with this, you will then have the opportunity to submit it as, and basically say, look, this is why I think this is going to be beneficial, this is what I've done, this is something that I've fixed, this is like maybe it was a bug, it wouldn't compile on macOS M1 hardware, for example, or maybe it was a performance improvement, or maybe it's an algorithm swap. All of these things are going to have the opportunity for the submitter to basically, I suppose, put their case forwards as you would with a BIP, a Bitcoin improvement proposal. And these will then be reviewed by a number of developers up front, but then also we'll have the opportunity for the community to come along and actually contribute and discuss around this type of thing. I think this is really quite cool because I mean, there's not a lot of point, I suppose, me going back into the overarching, like, how this all works, but long story short, we are going to have a better documented history of all of these discussions. A lot more people are going to be able to be actively involved in this kind of decision-making from the broader community. We will get some people say, no, I don't acknowledge this particular pull request, I think it's going to be a bad idea for this reason. Other people will also be able to put it forward and basically say, actually, I like this, I think this is a great idea, and this is particularly why. So we're looking at ways that we can further strengthen this. One of these might be that we look at shifting the DigiByte organization, particularly as we move away from the notion of being a coin and rather towards a project as a whole. But we're looking at doing that not just specifically with the domain or with development, but also across social media channels and other such things as well. This is something that's actually been going on now for several months, and unfortunately this has been one of the reasons why these DigiByte update videos have been a little bit on the scarce side lately, because it's not something that we've wanted to jump the gun with and have one or two people just go, yeah, this is how it is now, because again, that's really not in the spirit of decentralization. This is something that's had involvement from the foundation, members from the DigiByte awareness team, and all of that kind of good stuff as well. Other prominent members, other new organizations, all of that kind of thing have all been involved in this sort of discussion. And they are by no means finished and completed. This is the sort of thing that now I suppose we're at the point where it's a good chance for the broader community to start having these discussions about. So that's where I think it's going to be cool for you to get involved. For starters, sing out in the comment section below. This is obviously nothing official, whatever, of course, but I would like to hear the perspective of the watchers. Yourself, basically. What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on us pursuing these other avenues of decentralization? Do you think it's all a bunch of hullabaloo that we shouldn't just worry about and that we're fine with the status quo? Or do you think this is a good step in the right direction for the professionalism or the growing up of the project as a whole? Let us know. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. So what I wanted to do is give you a little bit of a heads up on this, and then when we've got more details specifically around things like potentially a new domain, like it might just be digibyte.com or something, I don't know. But just kind of keeping you in the loop there of some of these discussions that have been taking place, and allow you to, yeah, I suppose have your voice heard in the comments below as a starting point, you know? I think we should wrap it up there. That's going to be all from me for today. Consider leaving a like, subscribe, hit the share button. A lot of my viewers are not actually subscribed, so if you wouldn't mind, hit the button. I do semi-regular updates like this. I try to do them a little bit more regularly now that we've kind of got some of this earlier discussions out of the way and things, and hopefully we'll be back with a lot more regular updates for your viewing pleasure. That's going to be all from me for today. I'll talk to you in the next video. Hopefully I'll see you real soon. Cheers.